Great day, everyone. Welcome back to another um, opportunity. And listen, just right out the gate, I'm going to ask you a question. If there was a way to predict future sales, would you do it even in a thriving but tight market? And if the answer is yes, then you want to plug in, you want to go grab some note paper, whatever device you use to take notes, because we're going to go through some tips, techniques, and tools that you can use to help thrive in a tight market. I have my good friend Mr. Christoph. He's with us. He's the VP at Land Voice, and Chris at the end will take us through some of those tools and techniques that you can use to take your business to the next level. And I'm just going to jump right to it. And so, oftentimes in my experience, and I've been doing real estate sales and training for a long time, I get asked this question, Rich, how do I take my business to the next level? How do I beat the competition? I get asked that question often. And here, quite frankly, friend, here's my short answer to a long process. The short answer is you don't really beat the competition. So you got to take it out of your mind that you're going to beat the competition. You don't beat the competition, friend. What you do is you outperform the competition. So let's test that theory. Let me ask you a question, and feel free to give us hearts, give us fire emojis in the chat. We're monitoring the chat. We want to answer any questions that you have as we go through this. It's just going to be fast and furious. So I want you to stay engaged. Think about this. Does a competition have access to the internet? Say yes. Does a competition, do they have access to some type of campaign, email marketing? Say yes. Does a competition have access to the MLS? Say yes. Does a competition have access to AI? Does a competition have, of course, it's yes, yes, yes. So how in the world do I beat someone who has access to the same tools that I have access to? And friend, the answer again, it's a short answer. It's a long process, but the short answer is just focus on outperforming the competition. That's all you have to do. And so we're going to go through some tools, some tips, tools, and techniques that you can use to help, excuse me, beat the competition. So number one, there's three things that it comes to mind as it relates to winning in a competitive market. Is number one, you got to stand out and be memorable. You have to stand out and be memorable. Number two, build relationships, not transactions. Build relationships, not transaction. What does that mean? Let me unpack that just for a second. Building a relationship is you have to keep in mind, it means that you keep in mind that it's people first and then it's profits second. It's people first and it's profits second. In other words, I have to connect with what's in a person's heart before I ask them for what's in their hand. And so be relatable, right? Be relatable and build that relationship. If you do that right, then you will begin to experience the transaction. I'm not saying ignore the transaction. I'm just saying focus on the persons first, offer service first, and as a result, you are going to get transaction. And the third thing is track trends and follow up. Friend, a friend of mine told me years ago in business. He said, "Rich, there is a fortune in the follow up." I don't know if he authorized that or not, but I just ran with it. There's a fortune in the follow-up. I call it the TOT, T-O-T, Tom, Oscar, Tom. It's the time on task. As a realtor, whether you're new in real estate or you've been doing it since real estate has been invented, you have to stay focused. You have to keep the main thing, and make sure that you are tracking the trends and you're following up with your customers. Here's a good rule of thumb for those of us that are new in the trenches, new in real estate. The first activity of the day is not generating new business, it's following up on old business first. Follow up on old business first, and that's how you keep forward motion, right? That's how you keep tracking the trends. And then the second thing you're going to do to thrive in a tight market is you're going to have to leverage data to find hidden leads. Now I like that because I believe Chris has some real good tools that you can use as it relates to data and finding hidden leads. Listen, Can I listen? Okay, I'm talking fast. I know it. I know I'm talking fast. This is recorded. It's on LinkedIn. It's on Facebook. You'll be able to watch it again and again and again and ask questions again and again and again. It is. It is. I love real estate because here's my mindset in real estate. It is easy to succeed in real estate. It's hard to fail. I know. Now, when you look at stats that's put out by the National Association of Realtors, um, I read a recent stat in 2025 that about 80% of realtors fail in real estate within the first year. And here I am saying that it's easy to succeed or win in real estate, it's hard to fail. The reason why I say that is because those who are winning in real estate, they're winning because they have a system. It's not reverse Moses. It's not let me go in and twiddle my thumbs and I hope the phone rings. I hope the email comes. I hope I get that DM. No, no. You have to understand that you have to build a system, right? And so you're going to have to mine expired and off market listings. And again, the topic is how do you how do you win in a tight real estate market? Leverage
Mhm.
data. Second thing is target the most motivated sellers first. Target the most motivated sellers first. Who's motivated? Who are the motivated? Who are the motivated sellers, Rich? To me, it's expired listings. It's for sale by owners. Maybe it's
Mhm.
distressed properties. These are properties. These are sellers that have a desire to sell. When you knock on the door of a for sale by owner, you already know they want to sell. How do you know, Rich? They have a sign in the yard. The sign says for sale by owner. Expired listing. They tried to sell it and it didn't sell. Distressed property. They're thinking about selling, right? They're looking for a way out. They're looking for an option. You knock on the door. You're the person. To me, friend, those are motivated sellers, right? And then you want to have a system in place as it relates to leverage and data and hidden leads. You want to have a system in place that automatically sends you leads and alerts that never miss. An automated system in place. That's how you do it. And then the fourth thing I want to say as it relates to thriving in a tight market is turn opportunities into listings, and you have to do it fast. We're talking about a competitive market. So you have to turn opportunities into listings and you have to do it fast. Respond immediately, highlight urgency and value, use testimonies and insight as it relates to growing your business and getting in front of motivated people that are looking to sell their property. And so the next thing I want to share with you, I want to turn the floor over to Chris, and Chris is going to walk us through some of those data mining tools, the database leveraging, and how to finish the year strong. Chris, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, fantastic. So I just want to make sure that the screen shows. All right. What do you see on the screen right now, Rich?
Let's see. It should be coming up soon. There it is. I see it.
How to thrive in a tight market?
Yes, sir.
All right. Guys, first of all, thank you so much, Rich. I love doing those webinars with you because you are so real. You don't blow smoke. You say how it is, and sometimes people don't believe it, right? When you say, it's easy to succeed in real estate, I 100% agree. I have seen so many agents fail,
Mm-hmm.
and they were in their own way, because there's no reason why you should fail. If you had one transaction last year, just one, you already did better than 71% of all agents. 71% did not have a single transaction. And the reason is not because it is impossible to sell, because look at this, 29% did 4.06 million homes, right, of existing home sales. So they got the lion's share of all the sales, a very small fraction of the agents. They had a fantastic year last year. The reason why so many agents actually failed last year is, first of all, a lot of agents fail anyway because, like what you said, they don't survive the first year in real estate because they don't have a system. But another reason is sometimes when things change, like the interest rate changes or so on, agents sometimes freeze up and say, okay, this is a bad year right now. Next year will be better. And they go back to, doing a part-time job somewhere else or being content with less sales, when it should be actually exactly the opposite. When the less competition goes after the possible listings, that's when you can double down and can have a phenomenal year because you eliminated so much of the competition. Um, and you're right. We need to focus on the motivated sellers. Another way of calling motivated sellers, I like to call them need sellers. They really need to sell. That's what makes them motivated, right? Um, Sometimes we don't know why a for sale by owner is selling in this market right now. Where maybe it's in their area, it's not the best timing, but they have a really strong reason to sell because maybe they had to move because of the job loss or divorce or something else, right? Or they need to move closer to their aging parents. A plethora of reasons why people need to move, but they make them need sellers. They need to sell. So the question should be, how can you get to those need sellers before somebody else does? How can you get that listing? It's not that hard, really. If we're afraid to call people, to contact people that we don't know, unfortunately, I have to say we would be in the wrong business, right? Because prospecting in real estate is a contact sport. You cannot avoid it. In fact, you should seek it. You should seek contact with as many people as possible. Now, you can waste a lot of time contacting the wrong people where nothing ever will happen, and you just feel busy and you feel good and you mistake movement for success. Real success is being targeted and spending the right amount of time on the right lead source. So in order to drive listings, you need tools. You need a system. You cannot just hope or talk to maybe your past clients or only people in your database. Right now, that doesn't work. That worked a couple of years ago because a lot of people were selling and the market was great for selling. And right now, you need tools that will help you identify those people who are selling right now and have a system that gets you in front of them first. At LandVoice, we have the absolute best data for the expireds, for sale by owners, and pre-foreclosures. Those three lead sources are need sellers. Okay, you can do very, very well. You can build a pipeline right now before the end of the year, and you have a phenomenal January. I promise you, if you focus on those lead sources right now. Let's start with expireds. Expired are the ideal lead source because they have two hands up in the air. The first hand stands for I want to sell my home. Second hand, I want to pay commission. I am willing to use an agent. I know I can't do it alone. The challenge is a lot of agents are going after them, right? It seems like a little difficult. Like you find yourself in a red ocean competing with everybody else going after the expireds. And after a while you say, okay, this is too busy. There are too many people calling. I give up on that. I'll never be first. And we don't find ourselves in a blue ocean. I'm going to show you now a very, very simple process how you can be in a blue ocean every single morning with all the expireds you want to reach out to every day. Okay. The only reason why you wouldn't be able to do it is if you maybe have a lot of expireds in one day and you can't get to all of them. But you can get at least one listing appointment that day. That would be great, wouldn't it? We know from the stats, this one is from a Tom Ferry event that I got the picture from, 78% of all expireds end up listing with the very first agent to call them. And 51% of the homes sell if an expired uses the same agent versus 71% sell if they go with a new agent, which should be you. So you can tell them, by listing with a different agent the second time around, you have a much higher chance to sell your home, because most likely the reason why your home didn't sell maybe has to do something with the agent, with the marketing, the pricing strategy, right? The follow-up and so on. So I want to highlight this one stat here. 70% of agents list with the first agent who calls. That stat comes right out of NAR. It's not something that we made up. This is to your advantage. If you're a brand new agent, you should say, hooray, I don't have to be the agent with the biggest marketing budget or the most years in the industry or the biggest team. I simply have to find a way how I can reach out first to an expired before the competition. That's how you outperform them, not beat them, but you outperform them. Okay, now another question is, what is the best day of the month to get a lot of expired listings? Is every day equal, or does one day stand out? Well, the first day of the month statistically gets more expireds than any other day of the month, usually 300% more. And, and I have another question for you. What first of the month of the entire year do you think is the biggest expired day of the whole year? Think about that. It's actually January 1st. That is a day. I have one friend in the industry. His name is Cody Gibson. He has like 147 offices, okay, with agents. And on that day, on the 1st of January, he gets everybody in the office, even though a lot of people say, well, it's my holiday, right? But they get so many listing appointments on that one day, it pays off for the first 2 months of the entire year. On that day alone, they set enough listing appointments that gets them through the end of February with great sales, right? Reaching all the goals. So don't miss that day, guys. You have to have a system in place. How do you get the contact information for the expireds? Now, if you look at your MLS, and you have to know kind of how many expireds and cancels are in the last 30 days. If you don't know that, look it up. But I looked it up for a couple, and I looked up in the Bright MLS. It was like 1,900 in 30 days. In another MLS in Florida, there were over 3,000 in 30 days. In my area here where I am, there are also over 2,000 in the last 30 days. And that number is going to be tripled on January 1st. And in all through January is going to be a huge expired month. You have to be ready for this. Okay, how can you win? Well, if you do it the hard way, like a lot of agents, you would do it this way. You log into the MLS, look for your expireds, and you should do that probably before 8 o'clock in the morning, because that's when people start calling. And then you need to find the phone number. You need to do an absentee owner lookup. That takes time. Finding the right phone number is so hard, right? Because it's easy to find a bad phone number, and then you're all happy that you found it, and then nobody answers, or it's a wrong person. And that's so frustrating, especially if it's a $800,000 multi-million-dollar home. Can you imagine that, losing that opportunity? Now you need to scrub the number against a do not call registry. And you need to do that over and over again every single day. That, like this guy is sleeping, that puts you to sleep because it's exhausting. There is a system, guys, that is a lot easier than doing it the manual way. And it's so inexpensive. It's so easy. That's one of the reasons why Rich was saying it is actually easy to succeed in real estate if you have a strategy, if you have the right system. With LandVoice, we are the top data provider for expireds. We do it every day. We go at midnight into your MLS. We find all the missing owner info, all the expired phone numbers and withdrawn and canceled, absentee owner info. We scrub it against the do not call registry. We organize it. We give you filters. You can sort. And all you got to do is, before 8 o'clock in the morning, log in. It takes you less than 30 seconds to click log in, click on expireds, and everything is there for you. The entire database from your MLS is now augmented with phone numbers. And that is crucial today, to be among the first to get in touch with that and connect with that expired. You can sort it by price. I always sort by price, make sure that the most expensive expired is first. And it is so easy. I'm going to show you a zoom here. zoomed up a little bit. You find the phone numbers. If it's green, it's not on the DNC. If it is red, it's on the do not call registry. The absentee owner info is right here, so that that phone number is associated with the owner, not with the home. We have some competitors, they haven't figured it out, and they associate the phone number with the address of the home. And so often there is just a renter there, right? It doesn't help. They're not going to give you the name of the owner. So we actually associate the phone number with the owner no matter where they live. And then we give you filters where you can filter by expired, withdrawn, canceled, and so on, pending, active, sold, rented out, whatever, off market, by price, number of bedrooms, bathrooms. And that's how you make it easy. This is how you literally avoid all this competition who's still doing it the manual way, who calling by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and only to find out that expired already had an appointment with some other agents, which is going to be you guys every single day. You can get a listing appointment every day if you do this right. We can train you and help you. Or you can get at least, our average client gets at least 2 listings every single week. Imagine that. What would that mean to you and your family for your dream in your business to become independent and get freedom? It makes all the difference. Okay. And it all has to do with the system. Now, a big question that I always get is, okay, this Christoph, I know now how to get to them. I just mess up on the phone. No, I usually say the wrong thing. I'm not confident. Do you have a good script? So I'm going to show you one good script, but I have to fly through this because we don't have all the time in the world. So you want to lead with value. One great script is, hey, this is Christoph. I'm a realtor in your area right here in your neighborhood. I'm calling you first thing this morning to let you know today is not going to be your normal day. You're going to get a lot of calls today. Why? Because your listing expired as of midnight last night. Did your previous agent tell you what would happen starting today and for the rest of the week? In my estimate, you get about 30 to 50 phone calls on every phone number an agent can find for you. And that includes any phone number in your household, even your spouse and your children, if you have any. I just want to give you a couple of tips how you can minimize those phone calls and really maintain your privacy and safety, what is important. Okay, so tip number 1 is make sure you record a voicemail on your cell phone. Let everybody know who calls that your listing expired, because you can't pick up your phone all the time. You're going to get 30, 40 calls. And when they hear those voicemails, they will know that you already have been coached, that you probably are already talking to an agent. And you mentioned that in the voicemail, I'm already interviewing my top 2 agents. Thank you for not calling back. Another great tip is, and I love this one, it works really well. Tell them that their number is not on the do not call registry, and recommend that they go right away to donotcall.gov and schedule and register all the phone numbers. Tell them it's a free service from the government. Give them the website, text it to them, donotcall.gov, and they will thank you. So they thank you twice now, and you didn't even ask for the listing or for the listing appointment, and you will never do that. What you will ask for is a side-by-side analysis. That's what we call it. You know what? I worked really hard to put together a side-by-side analysis that outlines exactly what I would do different and better than the agent who let your listing expire. And it's easy to do. Just look at the photos, the description. Did they do a drone video? There's always stuff they miss, right? You put that in your report, into your listing presentation, and then simply say, I have this side-by-side analysis ready. I worked really hard on this. I'd love to drop it by so you can take a look at this. Would this afternoon or evening work better, or what time would work for you? If you do this, you will get appointments. If you ask, can I come by? Can you interview me for the job? You will probably get a rejection. They don't know you. They don't have the time, but they don't want to say no to a value like a side-by-side analysis. They always say yes to that. Sure. And then you do your listing presentation. You don't just drop it off and say good luck. They want to know, okay, well, can you explain to me? I'm not familiar with that, right? And that's what we call a listing presentation, done in a very organic way. You can have that regularly. We're going to coach you on it. You have the data now. You have the scripts that we give you. Also, don't forget about the old expireds, because those old expireds, they don't know the value of the home, how much it is appreciated, really. They heard rumors and everything, but go back all the way to 2020, 21. Call those people because they are sitting on 46% appreciation over the last couple of years. $117,000 in average in the United States in appreciation. Okay, in some of your areas, it's a lot more. And those homeowners are ready right now because home prices are going down in many areas of United States. They already are dropping. And they know, hey, if I want to get the top value of my home now is the time to put my home on the market. And in the process, I make a lot more money than if I would have sold it a couple years ago. It's all positive. It's all good. All right. So we give you actually a system, or we have a system that scrubs out all the, basically eliminates a competition because they're not going to do this on their own. It's really complicated. We remove all the foreclosures, actives, and solds. And then we give you those homeowners from your top zip codes for any past year, for instance, 2020, 21, those are great years, that have not sold a home, are not currently active on the market. We add the phone numbers, just like we do with the daily expireds, absentee owner info, all the information about the home, and we make that list, the old expired, exclusive to you, so nobody else gets it. Guys, and you're gonna pick up another couple listings this month and next month and the following month. Okay, that list is guaranteed to be only for you. There's no rush to call them, but I would do it before Christmas. Give them time to think, right? They may actually be thinking right now and saying, after Christmas, let's put the home on the market again. Home prices are going down. Let's do it sooner than later. And you can beat them to that by being the first agent to call them. And I'll actually tell them what the real home value is. Simply drop by a comparative market analysis. And don't say, okay, that's great. I'm going to do that next summer or so. Guys, now is the time. We found out that the time before Christmas is actually the best time to give them enough time to think, to basically, get to know you and end up listing in January with you. Okay, it really works. So the years you should be thinking about is 2020 to 2025. We're going to look it up for you. I'm going to do a free lookup for you. Simply text me your top 4 zip codes to 801-227-9909. That's not much free stuff in the world anymore, but this is free. And I'm going to let you know if those zip codes are available. And even if they're not, what other zip codes I highly recommend for you to look at. And if you say, I want those old expireds, but can I afford it? I can ease you in that right now. It is not thousands of dollars like you would pay with Zillow or something else for a couple chances to get some listings. Normally it's $500 only. It's nothing really. I'm going to give it to you for half price as part of this webinar with Rich, $250. And you get 2 zip codes exclusively for you with all the expireds fully scrubbed. Okay, that's probably the least money you will ever pay to get multiple listings, almost guaranteed. I don't know anybody who didn't get a single listing from calling the all expired list that we give you. Next, I know Rich likes this, for sale by owners. I love it too. Why? Because they're motivated. I actually don't call them for sale by owners. I call them the fastest source of business opportunity in my mind, right? Little mind game here. It's really so fast that they turn into a business, but you have to stay at it. You have to do some follow-up, have some good scripts, and give them value. 80% of them eventually will list with an agent. That's what NAR tells us. Okay, this is what it looks like at LandVoice. We go into your area. You give us the top 4 counties, 4 counties, and then every morning, without fail, we populate all the for sale by owners that happened overnight, put them in there, and then we build your database. And right now we start you out with a database of 12 months back, monitor everything against the MLS and let you know if they're active or not. I hope you can see how this is a system. This is not just something that you still have work to do and little things here, little things there. It's all done for you. Really, the only thing you got to do is text or call on those leads. And all of those are scrubbed against the DNC, and you can get regular listings from for sale by owners. Okay, the important thing is you want to lead with value. We give you the picture of the home. We even give you the ad, which is sometimes so cumbersome, right? Copy pasting the ad in a spreadsheet. It just takes forever. I don't even want to think about it. This makes it so easy. Okay, then you can do tags And every tag that you put stays with the lead forever until you change it. So it's like a mini CRM where you can actually put your follow-up campaign together really nicely. Now, I said it several times, the more value you add to a for sale by owner, more than anybody else, the more likely they are to schedule an appointment with you. So you don't come with commission breath through the door, but you add value. And we're going to train you like that, how to do it. Rich will train you. He has amazing sequence of scripts that I heard. I love it. And this is how you get through the door. But how many for sale by owners do you have in your area? It's hard to say, right? Because you drive around, you can count it. You can go to Zillow and count that. But you know that you're missing some, right? Because they have 1,300 publications where they can advertise their home. You don't have the time to go through all those. We do. I mean, we don't have the time, but we have a system that works through the night automatically, and we scrub from every single magazine, ad, newspaper, Zillow, forsalebyowner.com, every website. And we put everything into your Landvoice platform. And I have a way how it can look up all the for sale by owners you have in your top 2 to 4 counties within just a couple of minutes. Happy to do it for you for free to let you know if there are like 100 or 30 or 20 or none or 400 or more. And you want to know that because that gives you an idea how big the opportunity is. So if you are unfamiliar with how many for sale by owners there are in 1,300 publications in your area, text 801-227-9909, your name, your top counties. Give me a little bit of time. I promise I'll get back to you by the end of the day and text you back or call you back and let you know what I found. And I do this service for free for you. Next, another motivated seller source is pre-foreclosures. Why are they motivated? Well, first of all, we know that we had economic headwinds and they have not stopped. It keeps on going, right? And we know that the earlier a pre-foreclosure decides to put their home on the market, the more time they have to sell it. Like just any other home, without any pressure, without any banks involved. All they need is a good agent, which is going to be you. If they go too late, when it's foreclosure, it's too late. It's the window of time is really small. There's a lot of stress involved, and they make bad decisions. Not a good time. So get them involved early in the selling process. Okay, they have 60 to 180 days before it goes into foreclosure. That's plenty of time to take the listing, put it in the market without any stress, and getting it sold. And right now is a great time because of the value of the homes is still up. It's changing, but it's still up there. I love to pull any of our lead sources up on the phone because it makes it so easy, right? You simply scroll through, you sort, and you tap the number and it dials it. You don't even need an auto dialer because it's one by one, 100% TCPA compliant. Only call the numbers that are not on the do not call registry, and you're going to be safe. Okay. And then you can take notes, tags, everything stays with that lead. When you get to the pre-foreclosure, don't make the mistake to say, your home is going to foreclosure. Let me help you. I know it's tempting to say that because you want to come from value. I want to help you, but they don't know you yet. And it's a very delicate situation. I'd rather advise you to treat them like a neighbor. In fact, I have one client, she gets 15 transactions every quarter from pre-foreclosures. And here's a script that she's using for that. I'm going to share it with you. Hi, I'm Christoph. I'm a realtor. In fact, I'm a neighbor of yours. And I am calling everybody in the neighborhood right now because home prices are up. And I know your home isn't for sale right now, but have you ever thought about selling? Or if you were offered the right price for your home, would you be willing to sell? Guys, this works because they will tell you, we were wondering, how much is a home worth? It happens so much with them because they need to know that number. That's a really important number for them to understand when dealing with all the decisions about pre-foreclosure and banks and so on. So it's an easy appointment to get. I will let you know how many pre-foreclosures you have in your area. You can text me 801-227-9909. Got this wrong here. My name is Christoph, not Chad. But if you text me your top 2 counties, I will let you know how many pre-foreclosures there are. And you may be surprised. And you may say, okay, that's something I definitely want to add to my prospecting because it gives me another 1-2 listings a month, which right now, guys, we need every listing we can get. Okay. Don't start 2026 out with hope, but with a real strategy. We also have data for the distressed homeowners that come before pre-foreclosure. You can ask me about it over the phone if you're interested. I don't have time on this webinar to talk about it. Now, I want to talk a minute about geographic farming. Why is that important? Because when you get a listing, you gotta circle prospect around that listing. If you don't do this and you're just busy and so happy with the listing that you got to market that home, do a great job, you actually miss out on other homeowners who also will put the home on the market because there is a listing in the neighborhood. It happens all the time. I know that our president in the company, when he put his home up for sale a couple of years ago, 7 other homes went up within a couple of weeks around his home. And they admitted to him, they said, oh yeah, when we noticed that your home sold so quickly within a week, we thought we should put up a home as well. So how do you reach out to the neighbors? How do you get the contact information? LandVoice has a system, we call it neighborhood search. It's the easiest and most accurate system in the market. Now, you can do this yourself if you want to, but it's so complicated. It takes so long and so inaccurate. But if you use LandVoice, looks like Google Maps. You click on neighborhood search, draw a boundary around the area you want to prospect, and then it pops up with a name, phone numbers, household income, net worth is often there. Email address is often there, but it's always, we focus on cell phone numbers. And I would say 80-90% of the time, we find 2-3 numbers. And those are the most accurate numbers in the industry. The database where we get that data from is the same database law enforcement uses. It's not for the public. You have to be a licensed professional to get access to that. And you would have to buy millions of phone numbers to get it down to the price that it makes sense. We do that at LandVoice. It's very difficult and unaffordable for a solo agent to even think about that. Okay, so that's your advantage. You pay very, very little with LandVoice. We pay a lot for the numbers, but we have so many clients to be able to bring the price down. Neighborhood search can help you build your database, of course, not only circle prospect, and also gives you 3,000 search results every single month. That's 36,000 in a year, guys, that you can basically add to your database if you wanted to, or circle prospect around them. You can use it for social media campaigns. There are endless ways what you can do with the results from neighborhood search, but you will build your business. You will get an additional 2-3 listings a month from that. Here's a little advice. It's all about selection. Don't go to the shotgun approach to say, oh, I'm going to cover this neighborhood because I like it. Make sure that neighborhood search has a 6% turnover rate or higher. Very easy to find out in your MLS. All that information is in there. Start with 500 homes, and that is a manageable size of a neighborhood to circle prospect. Okay, because now you know that 30 of those, 6% of 500 is 30 of those will be sellers this year or next year, right, in 2026. So now that we talked about the lead sources, you're probably wondering, what about those scripts? They sounded really good. I'd like to have them. Simply go to landvoice.com/free downloads, or go to the QR code, scan that, put in your information, and you get free videos, scripts, everything for download, and free for you to keep. There's nothing else. There's no person you need to talk to. This is just yours as our gift. We want you to have that. Not only to have great scripts, but also to be compliant. We want the industry to be compliant. Now, how good is LandVoice and compared to other data providers? Because you may say, oh, I heard about Vulcan, or I have Redx right now. How do you compare to them? Well, LandVoice has the best reputation in the industry. Already for the last 2 years, just shot up, because 2 years ago, we were approached or acquired by a $1.4 billion company that is in this industry that said we want to buy the best data provider. They bought LandVoice, and we were so happy when that happened to partner with them. And they said, okay, let's make sure we are at the very top, have the best reputation, the best price, the best quality of data. And that gave us immediately 600 Google reviews. 4.8 Google rating. That is the best rating, among our competitors here, because we have more Google reviews than the next competitor here with the highest rating. And we give you the most data. Okay. For instance, neighborhood search, we give you 300 neighborhood search results, while everybody else gives you 1,000. The most is here, Redx 2,500, right below us, but with a lower rating, right? So we have the highest confidence of our clients. Now I'm gonna show you a couple testimonials. This takes 40 seconds. So you hear it from other agents, how well they're doing and what they think about LandVoice, if it really works. Here we go.
We are absolutely crushing it on LandVoice. Our team in less than 3 weeks has 17 listings.
Last week alone, my team and I set up 15 listing points off of LandVoice leads. Today we set 3 so far. So
the first week on my LandVoice, I listed 10 homes. In the last 6 weeks, I've listed 17. They're the best thing I've ever done for my business.
In my first year of knowing nobody, I earned so much business all because of LandVoice.
LandVoice works.
And I can tell you without a doubt that the best numbers for the best price is LandVoice.
And so that's why we choose to work with LandVoice. They work for me in 90 plus cities. I think they'll work for you.
Guys, when you hear that, you think, oh my gosh, I would love to have a fraction of the business what those agents have. I would be happy already with 1 or 2 extra transactions a month. And you can have that. All you got to do is just get the system, let us coach you and put it into gear, hit the ground running right now. So I'm showing you what you can get. When you sign up for the Pro bundle at LandVoice, you get the expireds, everything that we talked about, the for sale by owners, the pre-foreclosures, and neighborhood search. The only thing that's not included is call capture or old expireds. That's an add-on. Let's do a pricing comparison really quick here. LandVoice has the best price, like I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, $14.97 for the same data sources like other companies at a much higher quality and at a much lower price. You can see that the next closest competitor here is Mojo at $2,196 a year. LandVoice is $14.97. And these are event prices. That's not regular price. Okay, that's already a lower price. I'm going to do something special for you. Instead of paying $14.97 to give you an added incentive for this webinar to sign up, I'm going to take another $500 off. Guys, there's no Black Friday, no Christmas or end of the year that is going to go lower than that. And I give you a free bonus as well. And the $9.97 is grandfathered in, by the way. It doesn't go up next year. I give you a bonus. For the first 15 to sign up, I will double the counties. So double the data means double the opportunities of listings. It's going to be a phenomenal year for you with that type of arsenal to your disposal. So regular pricing, $14.97 for Pro. 2 extra counties for FISBOs would normally be $240. We give you that for free. 2 extra counties for pre-foreclosures would normally $240. So now we're looking at $480 for free extra. And that never goes away. You will always have that. That's grandfathered in for life. And we give you also an ultimate guide to postcards, normally $50. You get that for free because some people you cannot call or text and you want to send postcards. We tell you exactly how to do it. We give you that ebook. So you're looking now at $2,027 for a year, which is a great price. It's still lower than any of the competitors with double the data. And we give it to you for only $9.97. That's our end of the year webinar special for you. There will never be a time lower than that. In fact, January 1st, there's going to be a price increase that has just been announced in our executive meeting, and you will be grandfathered in that price. So how do you get this? Very simple. If you want to save that $1,030 over the course of a year, and you want to be among the first 15 to get that deal, simply do this. Text PRO to 801-227-9909 right now when you're live or when you're watching this webinar. Okay. And we typically have enough of those 15 for the first 15 callers. If we don't, you still get that $9.97, but you don't get those extra counties. But give it a try. Make sure to text, and we'll let you know if you're among those. And the number again, for those who are driving, who cannot maybe see that, the number is 801-227-9909. That is me. That's my number, Christoph. And I will call you back personally and also text you back with all your lookup for your pre-foreclosures and for sale by owners. Guys, I hope this was helpful. Rich, thank you so much for the time. I hope it didn't take too much, but I think it was great value for everybody.
No, that was perfect. I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you for stopping past and sharing that information on Land Voice. I would just say this in closing. There's always a call to action, right? And Chris did a fantastic job. I'm sitting there, I was looking at a roughly $2,000 cost in this end of the year sale, $997. Think about this. If the average home was $400,000 and you sold that home for a 2% commission, you've already paid for the year.
That's right. One listing, right?
One listing, and it pays for the year. So here's the thing that I will add on to this at the end is for those that, Chris, that call you and your team and they do the 997, I'm going to do the 2-week coaching on how to list for sale by owners and expired listings. I'm going to do that. And that's only for those that are paid at $997, because you know what? I believe that, when you're hungry, you show up every day differently. When you're hungry. And so that's where the hungry agents, I want to work with motivated sellers and I want to work with hungry agents. So those of you that do the 997 deal with Christoph and his team, I'm going to do 2 weeks of coaching specifically on for sale by owners and expired listing. That's my niche market. That's where I have the greatest level of success, 85% success rate at setting those appointments. So that's it for today. I appreciate everyone. My pleasure, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for logging on today. So make sure you call Christoph and his team, connect with them. End of the year, $997. What a deal. Happy holidays, everyone. Chris, you and your team have a fantastic day, and we'll talk soon.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bye now.